Hi guys, today I want to talk about installing heated grips on your motorcycle. I just added some to my WR250R Yamaha, and I went with a company called Simtech and a product they have called Heat Demon. They also make some other products too for other applications, and they even make things like heated seats. But this here is the basic kit that I got. It's just sticky elements that attach right to your handlebar. And you can see here, these elements here just have a sticky application on the back. You push it onto your handlebar, and then you put your stock or another set of grips over the top of these. This is just masking tape here to hold these wires together so that if they just don't break, more or less. Now, on the clutch side, I added some heat shrink to provide some insulation to the handlebars. As in the past, I found that with these types of products, a lot of the heat will get absorbed by this handlebar here. Now the reason I went with this is a relatively new company I haven't heard of before, is they had a great reputation on RevZilla where I bought these grips. They were about $55. Now in the past I've tried a couple different solutions that really didn't work for me. One was to use heated gloves, which tend to be pretty bulky and are difficult to manipulate the throttle and clutch, especially on a lightweight bike like this. And they're just more of an inconvenience if you have to take them off and use another set of gloves if the day gets warmer. The beauty of these heated grips is just, if you're riding in the morning or late afternoon or evening, you just flip a switch and you don't have to worry about gloves. I've also used the heated grips. I had Oxford grips. There's a company called Hot Grips that are similar where the entire grip has the heating element inside. Now the downside to those is that it really increases the diameter of your grip. Now for me, I've got relatively small hands and it's harder to just control the bike that way. I just prefer having these stock grips and handlebar controls, which are pretty small and very comfortable for me. I also had a set of these years ago on my VFR, but they were from a company called Dualstar, and they just didn't last. After a year, they just really stopped working, and they were kind of a piece of junk. So these were quite a bit more money than those. These were $55, but again, I've got some high hopes for them. Now, one of the struggles I'm going to have, I haven't finished the installation. All the wiring is done, tested, and it works, is just fitting the stock grip over this. As you can see, I've got the bar, a heat shrink element, and then this heating element here. So I had to cut the old grip off, and when I try to put it back on, you're going to see there's a large gap in where the grip would go together. Now, I bought a new grip, factory grip, but I can tell already that it's going to be really tight. So we're going to try to install it later on, and maybe I'll show a video from that just to see how successful that is or not. I don't know. This is probably the most complicated part of the installation, is just trying to get your stock grips onto something where you've created a larger diameter. Let me take you briefly through the wiring of this, because this was one thing that I was a little bit intimidated to tackle myself. But I can say that it went together pretty well with directions from Simtech and with some stuff I found on YouTube as well. Grip is going to come with three different wires coming off of it. The blue wire, the white wire, and there's a red wire in there as well. The blue wire is your high setting for your grips. The white wire is your low setting. And then the red wire, which you can kind of see right in there, you can see the red, that's your negative, okay? So that got wired in together, and that runs back to the battery and a fuse block that I have, so that's grounded. The blue ones are wired together, put into a female connector, and then they're run up to the switch. The white ones, same thing, they run up to the switch. Now what I did, because I didn't want these powered all the time, I didn't run it straight to the battery. I added an automotive relay, which is right here. This is just a standard, basically a $3 relay that I got at an electronics store. It's got four circuits on it. One goes to the positive, one goes to the negative, one goes to the switch in the middle of the Simtech Heat Demon to power the switch, and then another gets run up to a powered wire on the motorcycle. I just used a simple tap connector, which you can see videos on YouTube of how to use these. But this goes right into one of the running lights. Now on this particular bike, the WR250R, the headlight does not come on when you turn on the key, but these running lights do. So we just found a wire that was 12 volt when the key was on and used a tap connector to run into that. The other end of this wire goes right to the relay. Now this will all be tied off and put back underneath the headlight assembly and installed. I'm just waiting to get the grip in there first. That's basically it for the assembly. It was pretty straightforward. I used some heat shrink for the, I don't know if you can even see. This is the switch itself in here. I used some heat shrink there for the 3 wires coming in. And then for my installation, that was kind of a big hassle, is trying to figure out where am I going to put this. This bike doesn't have a lot of space. So I ended up getting the one with the plastic switch, which it fits really well with the overall styling of the bike. The other option is a metal switch. It looks like it came out of Radio Shack from the 70s. But they don't send you this bracket right here. So I had to buy that from Simtech, and that was $17.50 just for this metal bracket. But you know, it makes the installation look very clean and almost factory. It just goes right in here to my mirror assembly. So it's been tested, it works. I would just advise you, if you're doing this installation, before you go and put the grips on, just make sure, you know, run the wires together, make sure it works, and then do your heat shrinking or soldering, and then putting the grips on over the top. I had a little bit of a problem. I had to redo something. It just took a little bit extra time. A little bit of a quick update. My friend Craig came over before, and we were able to get this grip on. It was pretty tough, tight. We used compressed air, just shooting high PSI into the grip, which expanded it and then allowed us to push it across the bar and line it up. So we got everything back together, and the grips work, everything works. Okay, so it's a couple days later, and I wanted to give an update on the Simtech Heat Demons. And I had a chance to take the bike out. You can still see we got a bunch of snow on the ground here. But I took it out for a 20-mile ride, and boy, the Heat Demons are pretty amazing. Within 5 miles, I had to turn it off high and down to low. It was just too hot. It kept my hands really warm in temperatures that were down around 40 degrees. Kept it at low the rest of the time, and I was just using some thin summer gloves that I normally would wear most of the time I'm riding on this. So the Heat Demons put out a ton of heat. I think anyone who's interested, you're going to love it. It's a little bit of an involved install, but totally worth it, and I'm glad it's done now. Once the snow melts a little bit more, we're going to be enjoying the 2017 riding season. So more videos to come on the WR. I got some modifications planned, and I want to do a little bit of review of the ones I put on over the winter. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later.